coming up tonight on the news at 6.
We are able and ready to give many more doses than we have access to at this time.
Registration opened for the first Phase 1B vaccination clinics this morning, and spots filled up within a matter of minutes. Plus, after nearly 2 years of sitting empty, new construction has started at the Capitol Hill Mall site. We'll tell you what is being built.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 6.
Good evening. Welcome to the News at 6. I'm Marian Davidson. Thanks for joining us. Well, our top story tonight at 6, Lewis and Clark Public Health approved new expanded spectator plans for area high schools. The plans include sporting events for Helena Public Schools and the East Helena School District. MTN's Sam Hoyle has what you need to know.
Starting tonight in Lewis and Clark County, high school spectator plans have been amended and they have been expanded. For Helena Public Schools, that means 3 home spectators per student athlete and 2 visiting spectators per each visiting student athlete. At East Helena High School, that number expands to 4 home spectators per home participant. In a press release on Friday evening, Helena Public Schools Activities Director Tim McMahon said by having the new limits for spectators in place, we'll keep them under a max of 249 people at each event. McMahon went on to say the approval from Lewis and Clark Public Health is effective immediately and will be in effect for Saturday's matchup at Helena Capitol between the Bruins and the Sentinel Spartans. In East Helena, Lewis and Clark Public Health also approved their plan, which features 4 spectators per home participant and 2 spectators per visiting participant. And due to the plan being approved effective immediately, both games at East Helena High tonight will have more spectators. Now, both plans do require family groups to socially distance from one another, and everyone inside the facilities must keep their mask on at all times. Reporting in Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN Sports.
The first Phase 1B COVID-19 vaccination clinics in Lewis and Clark County filled up fast this morning because pre-registration opened for the Monday and Tuesday clinics at 9 a.m. on Eventbrite and filled up in a matter of minutes. An estimated 20,000 people in the Lewis and Clark County area qualify for Phase 1B, and only 900 shots were available for the 2 days. The Lewis and Clark public health officials will hold more clinics in the coming weeks, and officials say it is just an issue of supply and demand right now.
We are able and ready to give many more doses than we have access to at this time. We understand the frustration from the public, but we want them to understand that we collectively, our Unified Health Command and the folks that are involved in getting the vaccine out to folks, we have a very efficient and excellent system of doing that in our jurisdiction in Lewis and Clark County. And really, we're being held back by supply at this time.
People that were able to get a spot will need to show confirmation of their reservation at the Lewis and Clark Fairgrounds on the day they are scheduled for. And the county will also contact them for information about their second shot. Now taking a look at the state's COVID-19 situation, around 500 additional COVID-19 cases were reported today in Montana, bringing the number of active cases to just over 4,900. 23 more deaths have been reported since last night, 19 in Cascade County, 2 in Lewis and Clark County, and 1 each in Stillwater and Yellowstone counties. That brings the statewide death total to 1,106. Active hospitalizations continue to hover around 190. MTN uses a combination of state and local data to provide you with the most up-to-date numbers regarding COVID-19 in our state. And because of that, our numbers may differ from the state report. All right, now it's time for a first look at the weather. And Curtis, it looks like you got some decorations for your scooter.
Yeah. Some of them work. Now people can hear me coming when I'm speeding up behind them right here.
Those are awesome.
Could have used this for all the wind we had the other day too. Hey, good evening everybody. Happy Friday to you all. Thank goodness it is Friday. And if you're doing some weekend traveling here, take a look at McDonald Pass. Some of the passes up over the Continental Divide looking a little dicey. That's a live look right now. Of course, had a little snow. Maybe a few raindrops in some areas into central Montana, but just a little snow, enough to make things slick. And now you can see the areas under a winter weather advisory through the rest of this evening until about 11 o'clock here, really around the Kings Hill Pass area, Deep Creek. This does not include Helena proper, but nonetheless, a little light snow coming through, making for some slick conditions. It's a little worse west of the Continental Divide. The weekend, Saturday, will be your Sunday, so to speak. We'll talk about more shots of snow and when we might be saying hello to 20 below.
All right, thanks for that, Curtis. Well, the first new buildings are going up on Helena's former mall site. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has the latest on what is in the works there.
It's been more than 3 years since the last store at the Capitol Hill Mall closed its doors, and almost 2 years since the old mall building was demolished. Now, the first new construction at the site is getting underway. Contractors are currently putting up the frame for what will eventually become a Starbucks south of Prospect Avenue. Centerpoint Development, an Arizona company, purchased just under an acre and started construction last month.
We were really pushing the charge to get going sooner than later.
Managing partner Matt Ladendorf says the new Starbucks will replace the current location on the other side of Prospect.
The parking was tight. The stacking of the cars was, coming out on Prospect. So there's a lot of reasons to look at doing a new store.
D&M Development, the company that has been redeveloping the site, has been installing new infrastructure around the property. 2 new streets, an extension of Sanders Street and the new Vandelay Place, will be paved later this year. D&M has begun selling off several lots from the 13-acre site. Benefice Health System announced last year that they purchased 2 acres for a clinic there. Other expected development includes businesses like banks and restaurants. Centerpoint hopes to have their building finished by May or June, and say the new Starbucks could possibly open in July. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
The city of Helena also recently approved the creation of an urban renewal district around the mall site. And that will allow some of the taxes collected on new developments to go toward improvements in that area. Well, today, a Montana House committee approved a bill to compensate people who have been wrongly convicted and imprisoned for a crime they did not commit. The House Judiciary Committee unanimously endorsed House Bill 92, sending it to the full House for debate, which will probably happen next week. Now, under the bill, the wrongly convicted can petition a court after their exoneration for compensation from the state. It sets payment at $60,000 for every year the person was in prison and $25,000 for every year they were on parole or probationary supervision. One of those testifying for the bill was Cody Marble, a Missoula man who spent 14 years clearing his name on a conviction for a rape that he says never happened. After his exoneration in 2017, he said he had to start his life from scratch and has had trouble finding and keeping a job. The chair of the Judiciary Committee, Representative Barry Usher of Billings, said Friday the bill is a better way to compensate the wrongly convicted instead of forcing them to bring a suit against the state.
This person was wrongly convicted in a state court in the state of Montana. We held him incarcerated for however long, 10, 12, 15, 20 years. We owe them something. And for them to have to wait to sue is why we're bringing this bill, so we can get them quicker money so they can live and not have to live on the street, be homeless or whatever.
Right now, Marble and several other wrongly convicted men in Montana could be eligible for claims under the bill. And you can now get an early start on your taxes. The Internal Revenue Service announced its free file is now open. The agency works with private companies to help people prepare and file their taxes. The service is available to anyone who makes adjusted gross income of $72,000 or less. Today, the IRS announced the tax season will officially start February 12th. Now, those using Free File will not have their returns submitted until then, even though their taxes will be completed. And still ahead on the news at 6, it's the age-old question, cats or dogs? And we will tell you how you can voice your opinion and help out the Lewis and Clark Humane Society at the same time. Coming up next.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the news at 6. After COVID-19 forced the Lewis and Clark Humane Society to cancel their Wine to Whiskers fundraiser, they came up with a new digital fundraising event. And this one is guaranteed to be a bit polarizing. MTN's John Riley reports.
Since time immemorial, civilized man has been divided over one topic: Which are better pets, cats or dogs? The Lewis and Clark Humane Society is looking to help answer that question while also helping the animals in their care.
We are doing a fundraising competition that has been put in place to replace our annual Wine for Whiskers event, because obviously we can't be together in person right now. And we have decided to create a friendly competition to kind of determine once and for all who's the favorite companion animal, cats or dogs.
Wine for Whiskers is one of the Humane Society's key fundraising events, usually bringing in more than $25,000 for the organization. COVID has made fundraising a challenge for many nonprofits. Yet even with COVID, the responsibilities of the Lewis and Clark Humane Society hasn't ended. Strays and owner turn-ins are still common, and several animals in the past 9 months have had serious medical needs, which can be costly.
We're here every day taking care of them, and it's still just a very much needed service. And I think that sometimes people forget about that.
Whether you prefer a snuggly kitten or a loyal pup, you can sign up online to join your preferred team and challenge others to make donations as well.
Now, I personally don't have a dog in the fight like Amber here, who is one of the animals currently available at the Lewis and Clark Humane Society. Dozens of dogs and cats come through their doors every single day that need a home. For more information, visit the Humane Society's website. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
All right, Curtis, what's your answer, dogs or cats?
Anything with whiskers.
Good answer.
Very animally correct here. Politically correct, maybe not so much. Well, we've got some cold air that is coming, not this weekend, but looking all the way ahead through next week. Some of that real Arctic air that's been bottled up is heading down towards Montana. I'll have more on this weekend and a little glimpse at next weekend coming up next.
Tracker weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenens.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday to you all. Great Falls, 42 degrees right now. Southwest wind pushing those temperatures up into the 40s. Had a couple of raindrops out here east of the high woods, around the lower elevations near the high woods. In the high woods, it is snowing, and still some snow up on the Continental Divide in Helena, or near Helena. 33 degrees in the Helena Valley. Look at what the wind, what downsloping wind will do to temperatures here. Livingston, Billings, Lewistown, Great Falls, Cutbank, and Havre, all seeing that southwest wind here. That's why temperatures are significantly warmer than areas into the valley locations of western Montana. Cutbank, there's Great Falls, Livingston. Not the worst wind, not as bad as a few days ago, but just enough to kind of warm up those locations here. So you can see around Helena, just a little snow. Now I showed you what it looks like on top of McDonald Pass with pretty slick conditions. Sometimes the radar doesn't pick up snow so well here in the winter. Certainly from Deer Lodge through Drummond and Missoula, roads are slick there. Interstate 90, a few slide-offs, and also a little precipitation out here again into parts of Cascade County, Judith Basin County, Kings Hill Pass, looking at a little snow. I will hopefully have information about Showdown opening up possibly this weekend. They're planning on making an announcement around 9 o'clock this evening, so tune in for the news at 10, and hopefully we've got an answer there. Remember a big windstorm? Well, that's a big precipitation maker here into the eastern part of the country, producing some snow into fairly far south. Also New England picking up maybe as much as 16 inches of snow. And we've got some fire danger into Southern California. A little red flag warning right there. So for the rest of this evening, you can see that snow kind of diminishing, working on off towards the south here. And remember, Saturday is your Sunday, so to speak. A lot of sunshine here for most of the state, unless you're heading up to the Flathead, kind of locked in one of those low cloud situations here. But most of the state's looking pretty sunny for Saturday. Sunday's a different story. Clouds increase, and look at this through the early morning hours. West and along the divide, a little snow beginning to break through. Now, there may be a little mix of some rain and snow in the lower elevations, but mostly through Sunday, the mountains will be picking up the precipitation here. But Sunday night into Monday, I think there will be a little more widespread snow in the lower elevations here, so keep that in mind. So for the rest of tonight, Down there, closer to Bozeman and Big Sky, the Beartooths, the Absarokas, seeing some snow. And then here comes that second round through Sunday afternoon, and Sunday evening. And by Monday afternoon, I think a lot of central areas here could be looking at least in the lower elevations, about 1 to 3 inches of snow. Tonight, not the coldest night, down into the 20s here for most locations, with the clouds that are out there right now breaking up a bit. Snow over Kings Hill Pass, and also still a little snow for a few hours basically on the Continental Divide. For tomorrow, decent amount of sunshine, temperatures in the 30s and the low 40s. West wind up to about 20-25 miles per hour. Sunday, here comes the next system, and we'll see again a little mix of some light rain and snow in the lower elevations with some snow showers into the mountains. But Sunday night, as the cold front comes through into Monday, a little more in the way of some widespread snow. And I think by Monday afternoon, places like Helena and Great Falls and Lewistown, maybe down there around Bozeman, could pick up about 1 to 3 inches of snow. It's light, it's little, and we have another little system approaching us late Tuesday night into Wednesday that will likely bring in another round of snow, maybe a little wind as well. Here's the forecast, 7-day forecast for Helena. 42 mostly sunny tomorrow, Sunday. I think we could have a couple of raindrops, maybe mixed with some snowflakes in the lower elevations, certainly some snow showers into the mountains, but the accumulation really holds off until Sunday night and Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. A lot of people have that day off. Tuesday night into Wednesday, another round of snow, and look at Friday, a high of only 13 with some light snow as Arctic air spills into the state. And for Great Falls, 42, a little breezy tomorrow, not too bad. Enjoy the 40s this weekend, because next weekend, certainly not in the 40s. Some snow around Monday, then again Tuesday night into Wednesday, and crazy 8 for the high on Friday.
Thanks, Curtis. Coming up, big news about the Bobcats and Grizzlies spring football seasons. What you need to know after the break.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6. The Bobcats and Grizzlies made a big joint announcement today. Neither football team will participate in the Big Sky's spring season. Instead, they will potentially play a modified non-conference spring schedule. Now, this means neither team will be eligible for a spring Big Sky championship nor the FCS playoffs. The school's presidents made the joint decision to not participate in a full spring season and said health and safety of student athletes is their primary concern. Montana and Montana State are 2 of 3 Big Sky schools that have chosen to participate in a modified spring schedule, along with Portland State. And Sacramento State announced in the fall that it will opt out of the entire 2021 spring season. And yesterday, MTN confirmed the Helena High girls basketball game in Missoula against the Big Sky Eagles was canceled due to COVID-19 contact tracing protocols within the Bengals program. The Bengals will now be on the sidelines until January 25th because many of the players cannot practice. Helena High girls basketball head coach Ben Dudek said everyone in the program knew a situation like this was possible. While Dudek said the news is disappointing, all is not lost in his eyes.
We talked about that in the beginning of the year, and just treating every game, every practice like it was our last, or in this case, it being our last for a week and a half. And while it's disappointing, I think spirits are pretty high. It's not like the season's over or anything, and we'll be prepared to go on the 25th.
The Helena Capital girls rescheduled last night's game against the Eagles to February 16th, and the Helena girls game against the Helena Capital Bruins is now scheduled for February 8th. And we'll wrap things up here on the News at 6 when we come back.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back. Guess what season it is? No, not winter. Well, it is winter, but that's not the right answer. It is Girl Scout cookie season, and this year, the Girl Scouts have made it easier than ever to get your cookie fix. The organization launched a special app that helps you locate your nearest cookie booth. No more hoping the Scouts are outside the store when you go. You'll know exactly where they will be stationed and when. And if apps are not your thing, you can also track Girl Scout cookie selling locations on the organization's website. And for those who are not leaving the house at all, you can also order cookies online. But you have to know a Scout who can give you access to her selling site. So if you want Girl Scout cookies, now you know how to get them. And that does it for the news at 6. We'll be back here tonight at 10 with your latest local headlines and, of course, another look at that weather. We'll see you then. Have a good evening.